Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters John Vias and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Maddie Shipka with Community Calendar, and Liz Gillespie with sports. Thank you for joining us. Chief Michael Kent and the Burlington Police Department are warning residents in the area to be aware of a home improvement scam and are providing tips to avoid being victimized. Police say residents in Burlington and surrounding towns have reported that they've been approached at their homes by men offering various home improvement services, including gutter cleaning, roofing, driveway repair, and sealing. The suspects pose as legitimate contractors and reportedly have an Irish accent, but are allegedly not licensed and do not obtain permits to conduct the work. Police say victims of the scam report that the suspects request payment for their services up front and perform a small portion of the work before claiming that additional work to the home needs to be done, such as repointing a chimney or replacing shingles. The individuals continue to raise the price of their services as they claim additional projects need to be done, and when the homeowner eventually refuses to pay any more money, the suspects leave the property and do not return. 4 Burlington residents have reported being victimized by the scams, the majority of them elderly. Burlington Police Department has some tips to avoid being taken by these scams. Scammers often approach potential victims for home improvement scams by phone, email, or by traveling door to door, and may claim they've been performing work locally and have surplus material. Scammers frequently offer their services at a very low price. Check to make sure the contractor is registered with the Office's Consumer Affairs and Business Regulation. Request a business card or website address for the contractor's business. Be wary if the individual is driving an unmarked motor vehicle. Request a copy of the company's standard contract. Learn where the company is based out of, whether they are local business, and verify a minimum of 3 references. Inquire about whether the company will provide a warranty and how long that warranty will last. Remain wary if a severe weather event has just occurred. Scammers often take severe weather storms as an opportunity to target potential victims for home improvement scams. Never pay more than 1/3 the total cost of a service up front in cash, and only do so once you have verified that this person is a registered home improvement contractor and you have a contract. The Burlington Police Department is actively investigating these incidents. Anyone who believes these suspects are in their neighborhood or has information about these incidents is encouraged to contact the Burlington Police Department at 781-272-1212. Never buy anything at your door unless it's Girl Scout cookies. A Burlington woman who had initially been found guilty of second-degree murder of an infant and was sentenced to life in prison only to have her conviction reduced has been resentenced to a much shorter term. Middlesex Superior Court Judge Kenneth Fishman reduced the sentence of Pallavi Macharla, 44, to up to 4 years in prison. Prosecutors had called for 10 to 15 years. Macharla was found guilty last May in the March 2014 death of 6-month-old Rihima Dekane, who died while in the defendant's care. Her initial conviction was reduced by Judge Fishman in August due to conflicting opinions by medical experts who conducted autopsies of the infant. When writing his explanation for reducing the conviction, Judge Fishman called the second-degree murder conviction handed down by a jury was not consonant with justice. He cited conflicting theories put forward by different medical experts during the 4-week trial that ended with Macharla being sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. Flu season is upon us, and Burlington Board of Health is working to prevent people from getting sick by providing information and free flu vaccines. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford went to learn more about how people can protect themselves from the flu, and he files this report.
It's that time of year again, and we all know what's coming. Rather than risk getting sick, feeling awful, and missing some days of work or school and possibly spreading the virus to others, health officials are advising the public to take the step of getting this year's flu shot. All it takes, as I myself found out, is a little paperwork and a very quick stick that hurts no more than a light pinch. It's worth it to avoid getting ill.
Well, getting the annual flu vaccine is a safe and effective way to prevent the flu. The vaccine causes your body to develop antibodies to several strains of the influenza virus. These antibodies help protect your body against infections. Some people are at higher risk for serious flu complications, such as the elderly population, children, pregnant women, and people with certain chronic health conditions.
Getting vaccinated against the flu not only helps you avoid getting sick, it also helps the community at large when more people are vaccinated and not spreading the virus.
Each year, there's an annual season flu vaccine, which is the best way to help protect against the flu. Vaccinations, has been shown to have many benefits, including reducing the risk of illness and infection, hospitalizations, and even the risk of flu-related deaths in children.
So, how exactly do vaccines work, and what can you expect after getting one?
Most flu vaccines are inactivated, which is killed viruses, and will take about 2 weeks for your body to build antibodies to. So some may experience some mild flu-like symptoms a few days after receiving the vaccine, but that should pass. It is your immune response. It's not necessarily from the flu vaccine itself.
Over the past month, the Board of Health has been offering free vaccines for children and high-dose vaccines for seniors. Later this month, they will be holding an event where anyone can get a regular annual vaccination for free.
The Board of Health is holding a flu vaccine for the town residents and the public on Saturday, October 26th at Memorial School from 12 to 3 p.m. This clinic is also an emergency dispensing drill, and it's a practice for the Board of Health and other town agencies that have come together in case there were to be, for an example, a pandemic flu in Burlington. This drill is a great opportunity for the public to take part and see what is all involved in putting this together. This will also help to see what we need to do to add, enhance, or change our emergency plan in case an emergency medication dispensing situation would arise here in the town of Burlington.
Finally, a last couple pieces of advice in this flu season.
I want to remind everybody that if you're ill, please stay home, and also good hand washing will help in prevention of the spreading of illness and the flu from person to person. And you can find more information on the flu on the CDC website.
From the Burlington Board of Health, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
That was our own Rich Hosford and Sonia Rollins taking one for the team there with those flu shots. A Burlington restaurant will be closing its doors after its parent company was sold to a private equity firm. A spokesman from Del Frisco's Grill at 92 Middlesex Turnpike confirmed that the restaurant will close at the end of business on Sunday, October 20. The spokesperson added that they appreciate the patronage of the restaurant's many guests who have dined there over the years and for the hard work of their team members. Del Frisco's management is partnering with other restaurants in the area to try and find new opportunities for their employees. Del Frisco's in Chestnut Hill, as well as other locations across the country, will also close on October 20. According to the food blog Eater is the name of the food blog, the closing comes after the Connecticut-based private equity firm L. Catterton purchased Del Frisco's restaurant group for $690 million. L. Catterton then announced that it was selling the two Del Frisco's brands, Del Frisco's Grill and Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse, to a Houston-based dining, hospitality, entertainment, and gaming group by the name of Landry's. Landry's is owned by Houston Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta. If you have any Del Frisco's gift certificates, I would suggest that you march over there and use them up as quickly as you can. Demolition is underway at two old and arguably historic buildings at 328 and 330 Cambridge Street. As reported on BNews, BSC Group Incorporated, on behalf of their client Iconic Capital, is tearing down buildings to make way for a new one-story office building. One of the buildings in question is the two-story wood building that until recently was home of Given Irwin's florist. The building also houses a single apartment. The second building is a small one-story shed. According to the special permit paperwork, Iconic Capital is looking to tear down both structures and build a 21,500 square foot office building. The project also includes construction of two new access driveways, one from Cambridge Street and one from Chestnut Avenue. That would close up the large one that exists there now. Earlier this year, given Irwin Florist had moved to 165 Bedford Street. Also, from a historical standpoint, if memory serves me correctly, that building was once the Reed Handworks. The Burlington Police Department recently went down to the Burlington Public Library to have a casual chat and coffee with local residents. BNews reporter John Vias went to check it out, and he has this look.
On Wednesday, October 2nd, the Burlington Police Department paid a visit to the Burlington Public Library for a nice cup of joe. The event, known as Coffee with a Cop, gives the public a chance to have a casual chat with our police officers, chatting over none other than coffee. I caught up with Officer Glenn Mills about past topics that have led to a casual yet meaningful discussion.
A lot of people have asked about traffic issues. I think that's probably the biggest concern in Burlington. People always say, oh, there's people speeding on my street, they're running the stop sign in my neighborhood, traffic volume.
These casual chats give citizens a chance to speak up on topics that they feel are important to the town.
We try to address the concerns as best we can. I can bring messages back to the different people responsible for those different units within our department and see if we can look at those problems.
Finally, Officer Mills explains the importance of having a good relationship between the town and the town's police officers.
As a lot of people know in town, we are heavily oriented towards the community and providing services to the community. We do a number of events. We do a lot of free programs, including our RAD self-defense classes for women. We actually do our own public safety night the day after. We've worked with Wegmans over the years to have a huge event over there with thousands of people. We're always looking for ways to partner up with people. We provide free training to businesses in town and community groups on active threat situations and what to do, workplace violence, workplace safety. We can come out and do crime prevention assessments and surveys at houses and businesses. We're very open to doing all of these things.
From the Burlington Public Library, I'm John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
The Mass State Police are warning of a scam call, another scam, that appears to be coming from one of their barracks, but isn't. State Police say on Tuesday that the barracks in Boston received more than 100 calls from people across the country who reported that they were called by someone claiming that a family member was in danger and encouraged to call the highway patrol. According to police, the caller ID on the recipient's phone was the number for the State Police Boston Barracks. They said if anyone receives a similar call, to be advised that these are believed to be hoax calls, I would think so, from someone spoofing the barracks phone number. Authorities ask that if you receive one of these calls, do not call the barracks to report it, as it ties up the emergency line. Well, it'd be more comforting if they said they were doing something about it. Another addition to the upcoming Village at Burlington Mall project has filed paperwork with the town. A special permit application has been filed with the Planning Department for Sweet Green Boston for future occupancy in the building located at 85 Middlesex Turnpike that was the former Sears Auto Center. The application is for the fast food order establishment Sweet Green. The restaurant is proposing the use of 2,800 square feet of the new building, including 492 square feet of patio. In total, it will have seating for 40 patrons. According to the application, Sweet Green offers simple, seasonal, healthy food within a casual dining setting. Sweet Green was founded in 2007 by 3 recent graduates of Georgetown University's Business School. It focused on salads, bowls with fresh ingredients, and seasonal offerings. The special permit application is scheduled to be before the Planning Board on November 7th. Chops American Bar and Grill is getting ready to kick off the second annual Burlington Idol event on the first Monday in November. BNews reporter Robert Paris went to learn more about what to expect from this competition this year and has this look.
Get ready for another year of talented artists as they bring their voice to the stage. Chops American Bar and Grill is excited to announce the second annual Burlington Idol event.
So we're going to our second season. Last year was super successful, so we decided to do it again. It starts the first Monday of November, and it goes throughout the remainder of the month, and we already have almost full capacity of contestants this year.
Many of the contestants range from children to adults.
It varies from all ages, all vocal styles, so we really opened it up to a larger audience this year because we had such great demand last year the community has been great about supporting us, and we're looking forward to a good turnout this year.
There has been some changes in the contest as well.
The only thing that we've changed, in a sense, is in a positive way, is we've increased our first place winning to $750. So first place winner gets $750, plus they get overnight stay with us here at the Burlington Marriott Hotel, and then they get a 2-hour recording session with Jay Pasaros at PBJ Records, who is our music director, but he was also New England's Male Performer of the Year, and he's up for Album of the Year this year. So, they're in good hands if they win the prize.
Lastly, everyone at CHOPS cannot wait to get the ball rolling in November.
I mean, it's always community outreach. I think, our goal is to be able to show or present spotlight on people that are the local talent, especially people who have great voices. I can't sing and I can't play an instrument, so I definitely like to make sure that we focus on that and put spotlight on that. But community outreach is super important to us, and I think we do a really good job on that. We brought it back because of the popularity of it. Our first year we didn't know what to expect, and we had a huge turnout and people loved it. It brought great energy to our music program. We do live music here on a regular basis, so I think just it added to what we do. And again, I think we brought it back to showcase local talent.
From CHOPS American Bar and Grill, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Fall is definitely in the air. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown to find out just how cool the days may be getting with this week's forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. I hope you all survived that incredibly strong storm that we just had here in the Burlington area. We really underestimated the strength of that storm. We had some winds, especially near the coastline and down on the Cape and Islands, some gusts that topped 100 miles an hour. And I'm sure if you were driving around on Wednesday and Thursday, you saw a lot of trees down in the Burlington area. So it was really a very powerful storm for us in October. Now, starting our period, I know it's hard to believe we are into the middle of October now, and we're going to be starting out with temperatures that are about average for this time of the year. A little bit chilly out there, a little bit breezy on Friday as that storm continues to move away from us here in the southern New England area. You might notice we have our record highs and lows are going to be missing for the next couple of weeks. The National Weather Service is having some actual contractual disputes with some of the sources that provide us with this information. As soon as they resolve that, we will have all of that information back for you. And of course, as we round out of the period, I know it's hard to believe we're getting towards the end of October, heading towards November already. Time is really flying by, and fall is going by pretty quickly. And our average temperatures at the time of the year cooling down into the mid and upper 50s. And of course, this is the real depressing time if you're really not looking forward to the cold weather. Our sunrises are now happening after 7 in the morning, and the sunsets are before 6 at night, so the days are really getting short. Now, as we go ahead, let's take a look at what we're going to be expecting in terms of our temperatures and our precipitation for the next 7 to 10 days in the Burlington area. And starting out with this map here, I'm sure what you're noticing is a lot of green on this map, especially up here in our area, up in the Burlington area, and pretty much all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. This is indicative of what might be another pretty powerful storm coming up by the middle of next week. It's going to give a lot of rain to the south, and that may translate to some pretty good dousing of rain up here for the Burlington area. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Definitely looking wetter than average as we go ahead for the next 7 to 10 days. But as we go ahead and look at the temperatures, this will be something that I think all of you will probably enjoy quite a bit. And look at this up in the Burlington area, from our area all the way down into Florida. We are expecting pretty much above average temperatures, and a pretty good chance at that. Now, if you're going out into the middle of the country, it looks like it's going to be pretty chilly and a real feel of winter out there, but it looks like the two coasts are really going to be the place to be the next 7 to 10 days. Now, as we go ahead, let's take a look at our weather coming up, and I think you're going to pretty much like our forecast, especially going into this upcoming weekend. Now, again, starting out on Friday, we're going to see maybe a shower here or two very early in the day as that powerful storm pulls away from us here in New England. And temperatures pretty chilly, down in the mid-50s with a gusty wind in the morning. And then look at this, cooling way down into the middle 30s at night. So going to be chilly, maybe a little touch of frost out there early Saturday morning. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But look at Saturday and Sunday, an absolutely beautiful weekend for the middle of October. Temperatures on Saturday in the low 60s, but look at this on Sunday. We may actually be underestimating the temperatures a little bit on Sunday and Monday. We may see temperatures reaching up to near 70, so some really nice conditions coming up. And pleasantly cool at night. Still, we do need a jacket or a sweater now at this time of the year going out. Now, coming up on Tuesday, we're going to have to keep an eye on what's in the Gulf of Mexico right now developing. Looks like there's going to be a pretty strong coastal storm developing down there, and there's a potential that it could brush us with some rain and unsettled weather on Tuesday. We're going to have to see how that comes to fruition, how much rain we get, how strong the winds are again. But again, going to be fairly mild with that rain up in the upper 60s. As soon as the storm passes by, of course, it's going to cool down on Wednesday, well down into the mid-50s. But look at this on Thursday, though, again. It looks like ahead of maybe another powerful front coming into our area, we're going to see temperatures back up into the upper 60s again under fair skies. So actually, if you take Tuesday out of the picture, we have some pretty nice weather going into the third week of October. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your Community Calendar. Come and show your support for a cause. On Thursday, October 24th, from 6 to 9 p.m., the Burlington Fire Department will be having their 4th annual fundraiser event called Oktoberfest. The event will benefit the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Everyone is welcome, and for more information, email Eric Fitzgerald at efitzgerald@burlington.org. Are you ready, boys and ghouls? On Saturday, October 26th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 3rd Avenue will be having an event called Monster Mash. Dress in your best costume and get a chance to trick-or-treat at restaurants and shops. There will also be face painting, balloon animals, and much more. Stop pulling tricks, because we got some treats for you. Also on October 26th, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having their annual Halloween Spooktacular event from 4:30 to 7 p.m. at Simons Park. Don't forget to dress up in your costumes. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, call 781-270-1695. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
The Red Devils teams are still battling hard this fall season. For the latest in all the action, we go to BNEWS sports reporter Liz Gillespie with this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz Gillespie for your weekly sports report. We're nearing the end of the regular season at BHS, but some teams are still trying to get a playoff spot. On Friday, October 11th, the boys varsity golf team played their last regular home game against the Shawshene Valley Technical High School Rams. It was a good way to finish off the final home game as they defeated the Rams 44.5 to 27.5. The girls varsity volleyball team played against the Billerica Indians on Friday, October 11th. The game was a special one as the girls fundraised over $6,400 for the Volley for a Cure event. The money went towards the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Congratulations to them. The girls traveled to Wilmington High School to take on the Wildcats on Tuesday, October 15th. The Lady Devils won in their division rivals 3-0. The team will be back in action on Thursday afternoon to take on the Stoneham Spartans at BHS. The Lady Devils field hockey team had a home game against the Stoneham Spartans on Monday, October 14th at BHS. Varsity and JV both had wins over the Spartans, 2-1 for varsity and 4-1 for JV. Anna Otis managed to get 2 goals for the Red Devils. For JV, individual goals were made by Addie J, Fiona Noon, Ella Grislick, and Renee Lecomte. Both JV and varsity will travel to Victory Field in Watertown to take on the Red Raiders on Thursday afternoon. The boys and girls soccer teams played the Wilmington Wildcats on Monday, October 14th. The girls lost their matchup against Wilmington. However, the boys JV and varsity both secured wins over the Wildcats. JV won in a score of 1-0 and varsity won it by a score of 3-1. Goals were made in the varsity matchup by Keegan Mahoney twice and Casper McKinnage. Girls and boys had games against the Stoneham Spartans on Wednesday, October 16th, and no one went home happy. Girls suffered a shoutout of 5-0, and the boys were defeated 3-1. The Burlington teams will have games on Friday as they face the Watertown Red Raiders. The girls' swim team hasn't had a meet since October 3rd, where they took on the Wakefield Warriors. The girls will be back in the pool on October 22nd as they travel to Boston to take on the Boston Latin Academy Wolfpacks. Boys and girls cross country had their final regular home game against the Wilmington Wildcats on Thursday afternoon. We caught up with both of the teams. BNews sports reporter Robert Paris has more.
On Tuesday, October 15th, the boys and girls cross country teams held their final home meet against the Wilmington Wildcats at Burlington High School.
We knew it would be a tight meet. Wilmington had Wakefield earlier in the season and had a very similar performance against Wakefield that we had. About a mile into the race, we were down bad, about 35-23 when I scored it at that point. 2 miles into the race, it was virtually even, 27-28 when I scored it, and then we ended up winning 25-30. So we put on a big charge late in the meet. James Johnson ran the junior course record. It was Rashad Prakash's record. Patrick Gray broke the freshman course record, which was James Johnson's record, so we performed well. I'm happy.
We're going to stay focused on all the little improvements that we have to make. I think working hard, knowing, having confidence that we can beat those runners that are just ahead of us in the final lap, in the final 100 meters, final 400 meters, having confidence to bust ahead and get ahead. I think that's something that we really lack, is the confidence to pass girls, or, you know, and the speed. We got to work on speed as well this week.
One runner who has been making a name for himself this year is junior James Johnson.
James is running great. You know, he was behind Rashab, obviously, for his freshman and sophomore year, and that can both be good that you have someone to really work with, and it can be bad in that you don't have the experience of leading races and winning races, because obviously Rashab won virtually every race he was in. So James we've had 5 dual meets. He's finished first in 4 of them and second in 1 of them to Wakefield. So he's running great. Goals for him will be to try to win a state championship in November.
I actually wanted to play basketball my freshman year, and I was so good at cross country that Rashab and a couple of the kids on the team that were seniors told me to do track in the winter, and it's a decision I'll never regret. I mean, I love track now. It's my #1 thing, and I couldn't live without it. I mean, I couldn't imagine my life without track. I actually wanted to get the course record today. Obviously, junior record's huge. I'm a junior, so I still have next year. But, I mean, Rashab was a big mentor to me my freshman year, and when I was freshman, he was a junior. He was running insane times. So for me to beat that record, to be as good as he was, that's insane.
Although the Lady Devils cross country team has no wins, they have defined this season as a rebuilding year.
It's definitely been a tough season score-wise, but I believe this is our building season. It's going to take a long road for us to finally get a win, but I believe it's going to have a big payoff next year.
The boys and girls are going to give it their all as they head into their final meet against the Watertown Red Raiders.
We're second to Wakefield. We'll end up second. We have a team that hasn't won any, so I don't really see them beating us. So we'll end up 5-1 on the season, second place to Wakefield. 5-1 isn't a bad performance, but our goals are always winning, and we aren't winning the league this season. Final meet, I'll actually just probably be running my JV squad. We can beat the team we're going against with our JV squad, so I'll be resting my varsity for the postseason. It'll be a good chance for the younger kids to get some experience in a varsity situation.
From Varsity Field, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
Times in that meet was first place junior James Johnson at a time of 15 minutes and 45 seconds. Third place was senior Ricky Healy at 16 minutes and 25 seconds. And in sixth place, sophomore Paul Conti at 16 minutes and 59 seconds. You can check out the full results at bcattv.org. Both the boys and girls cross country teams will be back next Tuesday in Watertown to take on the Red Raiders in their final regular season game. Finally, the boys' varsity football team traveled to Wilmington to take on the Wildcats on Friday, October 11th. We have some highlights. Let's check those out.
The cold, rain, and wind was a big factor for the football team as the Burlington Red Devils traveled to Wilmington High School to take on the Wildcats. Wilmington took no time scoring as quarterback Tristan Kiampa handed it off to running back Bailey Smith for a Wildcat touchdown. Wilmington failed on the 2-point conversion attempt. Later on, Burlington had a chance to score as quarterback Cal Pena ran it himself to give the Red Devils the lead 7-6. As the second quarter came around, Burlington was leading by 1, but not for long as Kiampa handed it off to Bailey Smith for another Wilmington touchdown. Now in the second half, the Red Devils were down by 7. Pena threw it down the field to wide receiver Matt Pinkham for a Burlington touchdown, 14-14. On a fourth down attempt, the Wilmington offense found a wide open John Germano to give the Wildcats the lead, 21-14. Unfortunately, the Red Devils fell short to the Wildcats in this one, 21-14 was the final.
The Red Devils will be traveling to Melrose to take on the undefeated Red Raiders on Friday night, which should be a good matchup. And that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Liz Gillespie. Back to you guys in the studio.
One more sports story this week. The Burlington Lady Devils volleyball team took on the Billerica Indians for a special Volley for a Cure match to raise money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. BNews reporter John Vias has this look.
Friday, October 12th, was a night to break out the purple in the BHS Gymnasium. The Burlington Lady Devils took on the Billerica Indians for Volley for a Cure, an annual fundraiser volleyball match to raise money and awareness for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I spoke with the team's coach and captains to learn more about this special game.
We decide as a team what organization we're going to raise money for, and we find a good day on the schedule, ask the corresponding team if they'd be up for it, and then we order our t-shirts, parents help with raffles, really everyone does their part.
This year, the annual fundraiser was in honor of a beloved BHS graduate and volleyball team member, Brianna Aprazizi.
This year it's called Volley for a Cure. We're raising all our money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in honor of my younger sister, Brianna Aprazizi, who was battling Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she's also a Burlington graduate and a Burlington volleyball graduate.
I know it's very important for us. We do it every year. In the past it's been called Dig Pink, but this year it was a little more personal, and we wanted to do it after our coach's sister, who recently got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So this year is very important to us. So we basically just run money, sell raffles, pizza, and just run this event that brings the community together and really raises money for a great cause.
Finally, the team played well, winning 3 sets to Billerica, but the true score of the night was spreading awareness and going into research and treatment so the chances and risks of leukemia and lymphoma can decrease.
Like I said, every 3 minutes someone is diagnosed with the blood cancer, which is leukemia or lymphoma. And lately, being a part of it, I've heard of a lot of younger people with the same cancer my sister had, which is Hodgkin's lymphoma, so just getting that awareness out there is huge.
It's really important to show that we care a lot for our coach's sister who did have Hodgkin's lymphoma. So the more we can raise, the more research that can go into hopefully find a cure so that no one ever has to go through it again.
A person gets diagnosed every 4 minutes in the world with cancer, so just to raise money for this event and this cause is huge for us.
From the Burlington High School Gymnasium, I'm John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo was from a bird's eye view. It was sent in by Linda McNamee, host of the BCAT show Something to Talk About, and shows the view from her seat on a plane flying into Boston from a trip to Niagara Falls. Linda noted she loved how the clouds looked like waves in the ocean. Thank you for the photo, Linda. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your door, or even photos of your family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Well, that's it from the news desk here at BNews Weekly, but before I go, I'd like to remind you that you can get our daily newsletter with all the news from Burlington, strictly Burlington content, written by our staff and our news director, Rich Hosford. You can get that in your email box on a daily basis with news, sports, weather, school items, political items, government meetings, etc. So take a look at BurlingtonBCATTV.org and sign up for the newsletter. Okay, I'm Phil Gallagher along with Rich Hosford, John Vias, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, Maddie Shipka, and Liz Gillespie. Thank you for joining us.